Okay, shall we get started?
Okay. I mean, just to let y'all know, I'm not going to say very much at all because I know the story, so I might be lurking.
Okay.
So,
Me
if
and Rusty can uh, ping ideas back and forth as we discuss, because we're just basically going to be covering the rest of the evidence gathering stuff. But welcome everyone to another episode of Meeting of the Mad Hares. I am Countess Rose, and I'm joined by Grumpy Cobalt
hello.
and Rusty Helm.
Hey y'all.
Welcome to our lurkers, both in call and on recordings. And uh, I will get the stuff up on YouTube, I swear, eventually. Anyway, so we are continuing our discussion of the murder on the Orient Express. We left off halfway through the uh, interviewing of the suspects. We had interviewed the conductor, the secretary, McQueen, who Mr. Ratchet, the valet, Mr. Masterman, I believe was his name, and the Mrs. Hudson, and the Swedish lady, Mrs. Hudson. I swear, I think is still my favorite character.
Oh
More so
yes, it's
after
like
this. After this.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Who knew?
Okay.
It's like, and it's like it's funny. It's like didn't we compare it to like a 19 or like a early 1900s Karen? It's like who knew
Yeah,
that?
like a
Who knew that?
1930s Karen.
Yeah, it's like who knew that a Karen could be actually legitimately delightful to be entertaining. It's like or like
Well, it's
delightfully
kind of like
entertaining.
modern day Karen YouTube videos. You just like to watch the absurdity,
Well, yes, but it's like with this one, she's more delightful and less. I need to
wanting
see
to
your
see her
manager.
take a
Yes.
tumble. It's like you can vibe with her a little bit more, but like also, I actually went back and I found an audio recording on YouTube for this, and I actually listened through the entirety of from the beginning to this, and the author or the narrator for that uh for that audiobook. First off, guy doing ladies' voices always going to be hilarious. And then
Uh,
also, just the mannerisms of what he gave Mrs. Hudson. I immediately thought of my grandmother, who's like a
okay.
who's like a little southern Mississippi lady who I miss dearly. But I was just like, Mimi.
Okay. Who did the audio recording on YouTube? I need to see this.
It's like I think this was actually just an upload of the of like a words work with me here. I think this is just an upload of the I think this is just an upload of like a DVD or a CD-ROM audiobook of it, because it was just like, well, actually no, it probably was way back during the cassette times, because it was like, this is the end of side A. Prim,
For the for the for the youngins that don't know what a cassette tape is, it predates the CD player.
oh my gosh, yes. I swear my cat. Anyway, yeah, so like I think this was like the cassette audiobook of it. I don't know who the narrator is. I didn't look in the things, but there it is. But yeah, the audiobook was hilarious.
All right, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out afterwards.
But yes, okay. So jumping into our uh, continuation of our character interrogations, we are going on with the Russian princess. Princess. Da, 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 da.
Oh yes, the poor princess that they can't get over that she has a toad face or the face of a toad.
Dragonmorph? Dragonworf? Dragomirorf? I can't pronounce names, I swear. Uh, but the Russian princess, who I actually found, despite how much they bag on her appearance, she seems like a very agreeable woman.
Yeah, yeah, it's like they do often mention that beneath her toad face, she does have a very cunning her eyes are very cunning. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
I I do like a woman that is very intelligent. So it's like
Yes.
I did like I do like her character.
It's like, I enjoyed her character. She seems like a. Because she is a much older woman, it's like, I know it was like a good chunk of the time when we hear princess, we think, oh, a young lady, but like, no, she's like an older, grandmotherly age woman who is princess of, I think, when did the when was the Romanov stuff going down?
War
Hmm.
One.
World War I. So this is like after the Russian nobility basically collapsed, right?
Yeah, that
Here,
tracks. This is
yeah.
Death of the Roman offs.
But yeah, for the young Disney for the dang it for the young princess stereotype hashtag blame Disney.
Yeah. Okay, so that was back in the early 1918, so like the early 19 teens was when that went all down. So this was probably a couple of decades earlier. So yeah, she was probably somewhere in that time period.
Yeah, that tracks because I seem to remember that this the book's setting was like either in the either 1890s or early 1900s.
Well, I thought the book was set roughly the same time period that the book was written, and that was like 1930 something.
Oh, well, it's kind of hard to tell since they don't exactly give dates or anything.
Yeah, they don't exactly give years, but I think a lot of like these older books we assume it's like, oh, it's set in this time period, whereas when it was being written it was like, oh, this is modern day mystery. It's kind of like urban fantasy nowadays or urban thriller nowadays. You just assume time period is the same as what modern day is. Kind of
Yeah.
like I just finished reading a thriller book called The Housemaid, and that one is obviously set modern day, so this would be kind of similar as of when it was written and newly published. It would classify as modern day fiction.
True.
So, yay. Okay.
Also, also it's like it's set in uh like what Eastern Europe. So it's like the location itself, especially to us Americans, is a bit foreign as well. So it's like,
Yes. For us, untraveled Americans, it is very much, we are separated by both time and distance for this one. So it feels very off from us, but it still is very relatable, I think, which is, I think, a testament to Miss Christie's writing. That it could span
yeah,
decades of time and still be relevant and enjoyable.
yeah. It's like the point I was trying to make with like Americans is like if it was set in like America, it's like you could we could probably tell exactly what time period, probably to the year, based on like if they say, oh, it's oh, they were driving a Ford, okay, so it's post 1910 or 1914 and so on and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like it just proves that like reading uh, expanding your knowledge of a generalized and well range of topics can make things seem a lot more immersive. Like, we actually had this discussion during the first episode where we were talking about the person saying, "Oh, I've read my Dickens," and I had to Google what the heck that meant. Because not a lot of people read Dickens as much as they should or used to, but like people back then, they could they would probably get that reference a whole lot easier, and they probably needed to be. It's just like cultural osmosis and the like what is like a widely cultural knowledge. Like depending on your time period and where you're from, certain shows might be very popular. And like nowadays, I have never watched an episode of The Office, but I understand the memes. I understand some of the references. Same for Friends. It's just that is a part of the cultural, social landscape of things.
The meme.
The memes. And I'm sure back then, if they had the internet back in the day, there'd be a shit ton of Dickens memes.
Oh, indeed.
But yeah, it's just different times. The cultural osmosis or cultural collective knowledge, I guess, is a little bit more. It constantly changes and shifts as time progresses, but no understanding that in retrospect is very interesting to look at. I've lost my page. Oh,
We were
found my page. I found my page. Okay. I have cracked the spine on this book. I am sad.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay. But yes. Let's see. What additional information did the princess give us? I don't think she gave us much.
Trying to glance through it quickly.
It's like basically I think we just confirmed is like, nope, that's not her. She does not have a red dressing gown with dragons on it. I think that was it. I think we're just kind of expanding on her character a little bit because she does pop up later. Everyone pops up later, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And if I remember right, she's the one that has the German maid.
Yeah, the maid works for her, who's I think the only second class traveler who actually has her own compartment now, because I don't think anyone else roomed with her. Because the other
But
two
yeah,
second class ones are Mary and the Swedish lady, so she's the only third one out, and so she has her own room.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right.
But next up, we have the Count and Countess. And Bolts was kind of wary about this one because he did not want to spur on an international incident by pissing off this diplomat and his little wife. But Hercule has no such qualms.
Yeah, it's like I found their interaction to be interesting. Mainly from their demeanor. It's like I was trying to determine whether it's like the count had no trouble coming to be interviewed, but he was much more hesitant with the countess coming, and I'm trying to determine if that was him being protective of her or controlling.
I don't know. I
It's
feel
like,
I was getting protective vibes.
yeah, it's like I was leaning more toward protective because it doesn't seem that the Countess was stressed in any way, just
Mm-hmm.
extremely shy.
Yeah. It's like I got protective vibes personally, and like I know that kind of pops up in our brains because there is a relatively big age difference between her and her husband. Because when Hercule was first observing everyone at the very beginning of the book, he actually described her as a girl because she was like barely 20 something, while the gentleman is like in his early 30s, so easily a decade difference between their ages. But I'm getting heavy protective vibes because his wife is so much younger, probably. But like
Yeah,
I think most of her nervousness and hesitancy, I think, is primarily due to language barrier and unease instead of being fearful. Because
yeah,
like I think he just didn't want his wife to be left alone with two guys he doesn't know. Well, actually, three guys he doesn't know, while there is a actual murderer hanging around.
yeah. Very true. And it's like I can understand like if your wife is naturally timid, you do have that protective instinct that you want to protect her. So I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
I can vibe with that.
Yeah, because like later on when they see them again, he actually consults her a little bit of like how she's feeling about the situation, and he doesn't seem to be intimidating there to me. I think he's considerate.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, we're just confirming she does not have a red kimono dressing gown, and that the gentleman does not smoke a pipe. He just smokes cigarettes and cigars.
Yeah. And I do find it interesting how like when they did interview the wife once she started to open up, I found her it's like she was quite curious about Hercule's methods.
Mm-hmm.
Like ask him little questions about why he asks such things and like
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I feel like she because I think it's mainly because of her age, and I think she's actually one of the youngest people there because most of the men are probably late 30s, early and up, basically. Well, I think the next youngest person there is probably Mary.
I do find it funny like he even asked her like do you speak English? And it has like a written, I speak a little, Leetle. Yes,
Oh
and
yeah.
even comments that her accent is quote charming. So I thought that was cute.
Like I felt like her girl was like, oh my gosh, she is an adorable little niece. Because
As
I
she
got like
is.
uncle vibes from him at that point. It's like small baby must protect.
Yes.
Okay. And then next up, we have the Colonel. The only person who actually smokes a pipe on this train. Shock and awe.
Oh yes, the Italian, I believe, the one that
No, he's not
but
the Italian.
boat.
He's the English Colonel from
Oh,
India.
oh, right. That's later. That's later.
That's later. Although Monsieur Bunce definitely wants to get a hold of that Italian. He has his theories, and he will have them affirmed.
Oh my gosh, him and his stereotypes. Like, good lord.
He was doing the stereotypes hardcore. My good sir, calm thyself. But yeah, the Colonel was the only one who smoked a pipe. Like, I'm trying to think. Hercule definitely delved into um, his relationship with Mary, if there was actually one, or if they were just very close on the first leg of their train, because I feel like we might be getting a bait and switch because we all know it's like they were the two characters that were introduced roughly the same time, as like Ratchet and Hercule and McQueen. Everyone else was introduced later on. These two were introduced early on, which I think they might be trying to make it seem like, hey, you've seen them the longest. They probably had something to do with this.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, anvil to the head. But like, I feel like we're going to be getting a bait and switch further. That I want to say that that's not going to be the case, especially with a little bit of information we got later on with the salesman. Cough, cough. But yeah. It's like he basically was. It's just like a lot of poking and prodding. Nothing else really stuck out to me. What about you, Rusty?
Mm, I'm trying to remember. Honestly, I didn't take as many notes as I should have, so I'm a little bit scrambled this run.
Okay.
But
It's like note wise, I feel like they're trying to steer us toward the direction of something's going on between the Colonel and Mary, and they might have had something to do with it, especially with the whole trying to spin it, I guess. But moving on to Mr. Hardman, which I think this is our first official twist. Because,
I
yes, Mr. Hardman.
yes. Now, yeah, now I'm yeah, it's like it took me a second, but yes, now I remember Mr. Hardman. This
Yeah,
guy was. It's like
this
first he
guy.
comes out at. It's like first he comes out as putting on a show, bombastic and all that, and it's like once he realized, okay, we need to get down to serious business. It's like you probably already guessed who I am, so let's just cut to the chase.
Well, okay, so Mr. Hardman originally came off as a traveling salesman, and turns out he's actually a private detective from New York who, after dealing with another case that had wrapped up overseas and he was on his way back home, Ratchet uh, kind of spotted him and was just like, hey, I know you are a part of this detective agency thing, and I need you to do me a job. So basically, he proposed the same thing he did to Hercule to Mr. Hardman.
Yes, and unlike for Hercule, Ratchet actually gave him a description of the person that is after him.
Well, I feel like if Hercule had taken on the job, he would have gotten more details because Hardman actually did take on the job.
Yeah.
So Hardman apparently was more willing to take, oh, what was it, $500,000 in today's currency payment for this. While Hercule was just like, nah, man, I'm good.
It's like, what am I going to do with another 500,000? It's like,
I,
what?
I'm, I'm, I'm fine. I'm golden. I am Gucci. But
But yeah, plus, I mean, us Americans are a little less picky.
like I feel like Harmon being part of already being a private detective who is not as picky with his clientele as Hercule, because Hercule is depicted as someone who basically only does this kind of stuff for fun, basically, because like he's like, I'm perfectly fine money wise. I have my needs met. I have my interest and fun met. I'm basically doing this to stave off boredom. So I don't need your money because I don't like how you look and you give me icky vibes. Whereas Mr. Hartman's like, I could use the cash. I have probably dealt with worse people, and my ick vibe is constantly on. So I'll take this job.
I mean, Mr. Hardman is from New York, so kind of deals with ick on a regular basis, I'm sure.
We apologize to anyone who's from New York. We are not saying that, but your city does have a reputation. And state. We're sorry. Vote better. Anyway,
Oh.
so we basically have another person who kind of screwed up, but like it also makes you wonder how scared Mr. Ratchet was that he's willing to, when he already had one detective on his roster, that he wanted another one as like backup.
Yeah.
So this man was willing to drop what is equivalent to today's money, because I'm willing to bet he offered the same amount to the detective or close to it. He probably was willing to drop $1 million just for his protection. Which makes me wonder, how much was that ransom he got paid? Asking you guys, I don't know if y'all heard this, but like, if this guy had enough money to be willing to drop basically what would be equivalent to $1 million today's money, how much money do you think he got for that ransom that of that little girl he murdered?
Did it say
I don't think
like
it
how much the
did.
ransom was?
I don't think it did. I can
Uh,
Google.
yeah, I think they just mentioned it was like an extraordinary amount. But I'm I'm wondering if like with how scared Ratchet was about this, it's like I wouldn't be I'd be wondering if he wouldn't be stingy about the kind of money and he'd be dropping like almost all of it. Like I don't know.
Oh, the ransom was $200,000.
Okay. So
Was
now I
that
just need a
actually how
conversion.
much he? 1934 to 2005. Dollars in 1934. Oh yeah, I think we already had this discussion. 4.8 million. I.e.,
Okay.
something someone who is on the run could probably comfortably live off of if he is smart in with investing. Especially during that time frame where tracking money was probably not as well sophisticated as it is today.
True. And another thing too would be like how many people were in on the kidnapping? Because I don't imagine it was just Ratchet.
Yeah, he was the leader of the gang.
And three, it's like imagine at this point, it's like I imagine at this point he probably spent a good amount of it already.
Probably.
Because like
But like, I think he
you
would
don't
probably be smart with the money, and also he probably had other ransoms he's also living off of.
true. Yeah, because I think they said like this was like a ransom ring, so it's like obviously probably not the first time he's done this.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Cassetti. Why does the wiki fandom have so many ads?
But one thing I was wanting to say about Mr. Hardman was that I love how I love how Agatha Christie puts in like the whole 1920s American New Yorker accents. It's like
Mm-hmm.
whenever I'm reading what Hardman's saying is like I just hear New York.
Mm-hmm.
like 1920s New York. It's like a I come over to Europe trailing a couple of crooks. Nothing to do with this business. The chase in Istanbul. Wired the chief. Got his instructions to return. I would have been making my tracks back to little old New York when I got this. It's little mannerisms, but it's like I don't know. I guess I've seen like enough noir in New York or noir mysteries or spaghetti mysteries to hear this.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I just remembered that I totally forgot about with the Russian princess, if we don't mind backtracking for like 2 seconds.
No, I don't mind. What's up?
Because I was focusing on the kimono and the pipe, but we did also forget about Daisy. And we learn that the princess actually has a very close connection to the Armstrong family. She was actually Daisy's mom's godmother.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that.
I totally forgot about that. Like, she was very good friends with Daisy's grandmother, who was an actress. So she has very close ties to this. And it's not just, oh, I heard about the story. It's like, no, I am a personal friend of the family. But she also does confirm that Daisy does have an aunt that's still alive. Her grandmother actually is also still alive, but she's basically in self-isolation, I guess, due to her fragile health. The poor woman, of course, she lost a daughter and a granddaughter, and also her son-in-law. Is just like horrendous occasion happened to that woman. But yeah.
Yeah.
But what's
Which I did like the interaction with the Russian princess in later chapter with
mm-hmm.
like when Hercule confront her about that. It's like well, I'll save it for when we get there, but it was
I
I
know
did
the
find
part you're talking about, and I want to read that part out loud because, oh my gosh, this is where me and this woman vibe.
yes.
Because I, shocking enough, have a very violent mental state sometimes, and especially when it comes to the murderer of children, I want pain, and a lot of it.
Understandable. Very understandable.
Yes, we shall get to that though. Okay, back to Mr. Hardman. Any other little details, and praying to God I don't lose my internet again?
I mean the biggest one was about like the description of the small dark man with a womanish voice, which I have
Mm-hmm.
my theories about that.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Now, on to, I believe this is actually the last, no, second to last. No, third to last. I'm sorry, I can't count characters. But Mr. Bones is finally getting his wish to interrogate the Italian. And he is very much disappointed.
yeah, which I mean, I don't really know what he would have what he was looking for because I mean, the Italian has a very strong alibi already. It's like
Yeah, it's
the
like the
queen was like with
valet
him.
was like awake while he is conked out unconscious. It's like, if
Yeah.
anything, he has a better alibi than the valet, because the valet was just like, yeah, I had a toothache, I was awake. Ho ho ho.
Oh, I'm reading the Italian's part, and it's like I also remember this guy. This guy was the real salesman.
He was the real salesman. He actually, I think he works for Ford, doesn't he?
Yes, an agent for Ford Motor Cars. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. He works for Ford.
and it's
He
like
is a American. He's American naturalized American, which yay for an immigrant going in and Becoming an American, always love to see it.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was funny how Hercule had like was having trouble with having him like stay on topic. It's like because this guy would constantly be going off topic about like all his goings on.
Ah, he will fit in right in here at the book club very easily, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would have even worse times trying to keep this guy on track. And we all have problems falling down rabbit holes.
Yeah, sometimes very deep, hour-long rabbit holes.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay, but next up on the shopping block is Miss Mary Debenham. And Hercule did not hold back with her. He was actually, I want to say, quite aggressive.
yeah, it's interesting how Hercule has different methods on like each one of these people is he's interviewing slash interrogating, and it's like it all seems to be like a would you say like a cold read of like each person?
Well, we have been shown that Hercule is very good at people watching and then also reading people's personalities. So, yeah, I think that is a form of, he's probably very good at least getting a generalized senses of someone's personality and then able to deduce the best way to get information out of them. Because
Yeah.
the example with Miss Mary and the next person, which is the German maid, what was her name? Her name was Hildegard. Miss Hildegard. If he had treated Miss Hildegard the same way he did Miss Mary, she would have clammed up and probably be crying in the corner because she is probably more timid than the Countess.
Yeah, very much so.
So yes, I would say that he is very good at reading people and using that information to the best of his abilities. But let's see. Anything of he definitely wanted to know more about what Miss Mary was talking about before on the other train that they were both on, like when he got off at the station and he was listening to them, Miss Mary and the Colonel talking. We don't get to be told what that was, and I'm kind of pissed.
Yeah, what's the let me see. I'm trying to remember what the wording for that was. Or was it or am I thinking of something different? Didn't she use a phrase something about like we'll discuss it later or something like that, or was that something else I'm thinking of?
No, that was a similar something what she did said.
Yeah, because I remember reading that earlier today before book club that later on Hercule was very pressed on finding out what that was, and she wouldn't reveal it.
It's like the German maid. She just kind of reconfirmed um, both the princess's story and also uh, kind of Ratchet's story too, because Ratchet told Hardman he was worried about the little dark man with a high pitched voice, and the German maid, because she had been called to attend to the princess, she had actually gone into tend to her, then she left and came back because she was going to give her. They called it a rug, but I'm going to more picture a blanket probably for the princess. And she actually said that she bumped into a conductor that none of the conductors on the train matched the description because she described the conductor as a small little man.
Ah,
So,
yes, this.
yes.
Yeah, it's our first good look at the small dark man with well, did he speak to her at all?
I don't think he spoke to. Well, he did say, pardon me. I think he basically excused himself for bumping into her because he was leaving a room when she was on the way. But this
Yeah, because
also
I
comes into the um, aspect of there is an additional person on this train that we didn't know about.
theoretically.
Theoretically. Although I do have a theory and it's a little further on, but we shall continue.
Mhm.
So, but because it is. Because after Hercule, I think, finished with everyone else, he did bring in the valet, the conductor again, to question him about the button that Mrs. Uh, Hudson had found.
Yeah, the
And
conduct.
it wasn't his because he had all of his buttons. Oh, Hubbard. Mrs. Hubbard had found.
Yeah.
But he had all his buttons. And they also brought in the other two conductors from the other two train cars. And they had their buttons and they didn't match the description for Mrs. Hildegard. And, but yeah. Curiouser and curiouser, we shall continue.
Yeah, it's like so we have someone posing as a or either a fourth conductor, someone posing as conductor apparently.
Mm-hmm. But as we are wrapping up the summary of all of the evidence, the weapon is found. And who is the weapon found by? Them.
Oh, poor Mrs. Hubbard.
Oh, poor Mrs. Hubbard. I don't know if this woman's constitution could take much more of this excitement. Also, why was it in her bag? Or like I've kind of figured why it was in her bag, but like good grief. Couldn't he have chunked it out the window?
You
Instead
know,
traumatizing the poor woman.
oh my gosh, just asking, have y'all ever watched Sword Art Online Abridged?
No.
Dang it,
Should I?
because I would recommend it, especially if you liked Dragon Ball Z Abridged. It's a very good abridged series.
Okay, I'll check it out. I think
But
I've seen clips of it. It does. Do they make the girl very, very ragey and homicidal?
yes, and I love it.
I've seen clips of it, and I vibe.
But no, it's like the reason why I ask is because there's a one clip where they ask this person why they didn't do this very obvious thing, and they're like, that is a very good point that I wish I had thought of.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if that's the case with this. Like that is a very that's yeah. Throwing it out the window is a very good idea that I wish I had thought of earlier.
Yeah, because it's a long straight knife, and I'm pretty sure you could probably frisbee that thing out pretty far. Because like I don't think they would go looking outside the train outside of a very close range. Because like I don't know how far you frisbee a knife. I think I can
And
get it pretty far, especially if it like goes into a snowdrift
yeah,
and it's
and it's
still
not
like
like
snowing and it covers it up.
and it's not like they didn't open up a window to feign that they escaped through the window. It's like good.
Exactly. The window was open, so
It,
just yeet it out.
yeah, exactly.
Instead, no, the guy or girl who had murdered Mr. Ratchet, on his way out, and because like it kind of is confirmed that he did go through Mrs. Hubbard's room, so she's not totally crazy. She did have a guy in her room or a intruder in her room. Uh, he just dropped it in her, I guess, would basically, because keeps on calling it her sponge bag. I'm going to guess that's basically the equivalent of someone's shower bag nowadays. Like their little
Yeah,
toiletry bag they take with them into the shower.
that'd be my guess.
Yeah. And so like he just drops it in there and then heads out. So I'm just like, okay. I would have eaten it out the window, but that's just me.
Yeah, because I mean that because now that knife does pretty much confirm what they were theorizing about him going through there. So it's like
It's like
another
it
point.
definitely approves that the murderer did go through. That is how the murderer got out.
Yeah.
But it also brings into question the how they got in there first and foremost. Because I don't know about y'all, but if I was a guy who, well, actually no, I have concerns about Ratchet's character at this point because if I'm a guy who is convinced there is someone after my butt, what would be the first thing I would do when I am about to go to bed?
Lock the door.
Yes, but we know he didn't do that, or at least I think he didn't, because the Swedish woman was able to get into his room by mistake.
Yeah, very true.
So I don't know if he just didn't lock the door after he took his nighttime tonic to make him go to bed, but like was just like, dude, you kind of deserve to die at that point if you can't do the basic thing of lock your door.
It's
But
like
but like
uh,
it's like lock the door and put on the chain. It's like he might have locked the door because again, guy with a gun, but guy with a gun who also took a sleep tonic. I have questions about his mental state. But like, because we do confirm later on, because we end up searching everyone's luggage to find both the kimono and the additional conductor uniform with the missing button. But when we find the
oh
conductor
yeah,
uniform, we find that there are the keys to, like, the master key to get into the rooms and stuff in that one. So, my dude, if you lock the door, great on you. Why didn't you do the chain on the door? Like, we know that's there. Because they had to break it down to begin with.
yeah.
But yes.
But yeah, it's like I do find it clever that that the conductor uniform they find was in the luggage of the woman that saw the
The
the extra
man in
conductor.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, which it didn't connect the dot. I didn't connect the dots at the moment, but the moment it was explained, it was like, oh, duh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, try to throw people off his scent. But while they're going through and searching everyone's luggage, I do want to point out the opinion of the princess, who I stand this princess so hard right now because
Yes.
they are talking about how she feels about Cassetti slash Ratchet's death. Let me find a good starting point. Okay, so he's Hercule and the other guys are searching, and she regards him with a grim smile. Well, monsieur, do you wish to see what my vassals contain? He shakes his head. Madame is a formality, that is all. Are you sure? In your case, yes. And yet I know and love Sonia Armstrong. What do you think then? That I would not soil my hands with killing such carnel as the man Cassetti? Well, perhaps you are right. She was silent for a minute or two, then she said, with such a man as that, do you know what I should have liked to have had done? I would have liked to call my servants, flog this man to death, and fling him out on the rubbish heap. That is the way things were done when I was young, monsieur. Still he did not speak, just listened attentively. She looked at him with sudden impetuosity. You do not say anything, Monsieur Poet? What is it that you are thinking, I wonder? He looks at her with a very direct glance. I think, madame, that your strength is in your will, not in your arms. So basically, he knew that if this woman had the capability to kill this man, she would have. And we all would
Yeah.
understand her point on that. But she is, again, a frail, little old grandma like person who probably could not have taken on a drugged man, let alone stabbed him 15 times. But she probably would have taken an attempt if given the capabilities. But anyway. But we do find out because the one thing they could not find throughout the entire investigation, they could not figure out who the kimono belonged to, and but we did also find out the additional information of there is someone impersonating a conductor. I'm curious though on what the person or people have to gain by sneaking the red kimono into Hercule's luggage.
It is a defiance.
It is the Defiance, but like I'm just like, is that just like a haha, you can't catch me and I can get you kind of situation, or I don't know, because like I don't think anyone could think that they could uh, frame Hercule for this.
Yeah. I will say though that yeah, it's like I don't really get the intention for this either because up until this point,
Mm-hmm.
like I've said before, it's like I'm kind of sympathetic to the murderers on this. It's like
I think
it
everyone is because hey, we have a guy who literally murdered a child for money, and then he ransomed a dead child to her parents and then took the money and ran.
and then consequently caused the death of the entire family, including the maid.
Oh, the poor maid. I forgot about her for a second, but yeah, she did uh, self delete along with the mother,
Yeah.
and then I think the dad just died of grief. But still, it's like, dude, you murdered a literal baby. The baby was 3, but little baby for $4.8 million in today's cash.
Yeah, so it's like
I have no qualms with you being basically gutted like a fish.
yeah, it's like up until this point, it's like I'm like I said, it's like I'm perfectly willing to like just look the other way at this point. It's
I
like
think a lot of
it's
people
like
are.
there's no real point in like antagonizing anyone. It's like so
But yeah. But I'm sure we will find out more in the next section. Uh, anyone have any other comments, questions, or concerns before we get into the assignment of next week's reading? I think we have about 2 more sections according to numbers of pages I have planned out.
alright.
Anything?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
like I I was wanting to like have more notes and like try to deduce who it was because I could probably process the elimination, make a pretty short list, but
Well,
unfortunately I
okay.
don't have. Sorry, go ahead.
I have a theory, and Grumpy, don't tell me if I'm correct. I want to see. I want to see who was the only people we did not search their luggage of. That was not a
I'm trying to
rhetorical
remember.
question.
I'm trying to remember because I remember that the Count and Countess they were offered to have their luggage excluded, but I think they went ahead and had their or requested that their luggage be checked.
Yeah, so like everyone who was interviewed had their luggage checked. But who else is on the train that showed up later?
You're referring to Hercule and Bo on themselves?
No, 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 no. I'm referring to the doctor, Dr. Constantine.
Hmm.
Mm.
I was trying to remember when he came in. It's like
I
a
think I think he came in on when they added that extra train car that Monsieur Bos was able to move into so that Hercule could have his old room.
okay.
So he was like one of the last.
what is the depiction of Dr. Constantine again?
I want to say, one second, I have to flip and find. Flip and find. I want to say he was a small man, but it's like I think he kind of just appeared after the description of the body or this discovery of the body, and then like them looking at it.
Oh, wait, I
One
went too
second,
far.
that was in chapter 6. No, it was chapter 5. But like that's my thought process.
Okay, because even if he, my only thing is like even if he is short, is he of a darker complexion as well? Because that was the other thing too, was like a small, dark man with a. And would you say that he has a womanly voice?
I don't know if his voice was actually ever described, so. Ah! Monsieur Bones himself was sitting in a small seat in the opposite corner. In the center next to the window facing him was a small, dark man looking out at the snow! Ah!
Holy shit!
I think I'm right. I think I'm right. And like we haven't seen the doctor much since they started the interviews, and they didn't interview the doctor.
No, they didn't.
So he probably could have easily been sneaking around while everyone's getting interviewed and shoving things into people's bags. That is my theory.
And it's like hell. He's probably like just viewed as like a part of the main cast with Hercule and Bo. So it's like they wouldn't take a second glance at him.
It's like he wasn't considered a suspect because he was on the other train car. But if he had access to a conductor's uniform and by extension the key, he could have easily gone onto the different cars. I would think.
Very true.
So that is my current theory. My current theory is that the doctor is the murderer. But we shall find out in part 3, titled Hercule Poirot Sits Back and Thinks. But okay, so for this next section, we can probably do that in two weeks. How do we feel about chapters 1 through 4 ending at the beginning of chapter 5?
All right, sounds good with me.
It's about 40 pages, so I think that should be good for us, and then we'll finish it up the next week.
All right.
Okay.
Been interesting
Awesome
listening
sauce.
to y'all.
I look forward to your critique of our deduction skills later on.
For those listening, I know the stories. That's why I've been extremely silent.
We are going
my
to have
microphone.
to pick a book that you are have not read or don't know well, because
Blame my mother. She made me read everything.
We're not going to blame your mother because she made sure you were well read as a child.
That's the problem.
However, we are going to have to find something that you haven't read so that you can partake in the discussion. Because what is this, like the third book in a row?
Um, I've read the High House, and then this one. I think this is only the second one. I
No,
think the
no.
problem was that they were right after each other.
Uh, I think.
So,
Oh yeah, you're right. Because prior to that was Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Rings, and none of us had read that before, so we were doing a lot of comparison to the movies, though.
oh yeah.
Okay, so I think that'll be it for today. Any other comments, questions, or concerns before we sign off for this week?
Mm, nope.
No,
Okay.
I think I'm good.
Okay, thank you all for joining us, and we will see y'all next time. Bye bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.